budget Colt Python. It's kind of like saying the budget Mercedes or the cheap Rolex or the budget Gucci handbag. It's that's not always a good thing. And it's not always what people want when they're buying name brand luxury goods. Part of owning a Colt Python is understanding that this was a status symbol. It still is a status symbol for people that carried these as police officers or security guards or shot them in competitions. The Colt Python was and still is a status symbol. You can still buy these, and they have the price to match. They are very expensive guns, $2,000 and up guns. And this puts it out of the range of affordability for most people. It's one of those exclusive grail guns that people long after for decades, and everybody has heard of a Colt Python. Everybody's heard of the legendary accuracy and action smoothness. But some people just will never be able to own one of these because it's just out of their price range. They couldn't justify it. So what if I told you there's a budget Python out there? There's a way you can get the same shooting experience as a Python. It might not look the same, but it's a Colt. Action's just as smooth, it's just as accurate, and at heart, it is the very same gun. Some of you have already turned off the video because you've seen this gun. And this isn't what you think it is. This is not a Colt Trooper. And there's been other people on YouTube that have said that the Colt Trooper is the poor man's Python. Well, I don't know if I like that comparison so much, because the Trooper is fairly significantly different than a Python. The action is not fine hand-tuned. The hammer's different. The trigger pull isn't as good. The finish isn't as good. If you're looking at the Python, you want it because of that beautiful high-polished blue, the handmade, hand-tuned, hand-polished action, the perfect trigger pull. And you don't get that with a Trooper. You do get it with the Colt Model 357, the Colt 357. Now this is a variation of the Trooper. This came out in 1954. It was produced through the early 60s. And these were not very popular guns because people that were going out and ordering a new revolver through the Colt catalog, you could get the Trooper for around $70, or you could step up and get a nice 1955 model Python for $125, but up around $90 you could get this guy. And so the people that were spending all that extra money to get a higher end, higher finish, more polished gun would spend the extra cash and just get the Python. But for the people that did buy these guys, what they got was a 1955 model Colt Python with just one difference. And that one difference was the barrel. See, this guy doesn't have the full underlug barrel like Colt Python does. It doesn't have the vent rib on top either. This is just a standard round barrel. But besides that, this is a 1955 model Colt Python. The frame is identical in every way. The finish is exactly the same high polished blue finish as a 1955 Colt Python. The cylinder flutes are left matte finish, just like the original 55 Pythons. Trigger exactly the same. Hammer exactly the same. Original grips, when they're present, exactly the same as a 55 Python grip, just silver medallions instead of gold. Internally, this is a hand-fitted, hand-polished action, just the same as a 55 Python. And what's great is when you're on the range shooting this gun, you're looking down the sights, you can't tell the difference. You can't see that barrel. When you're pulling the trigger on this thing, all you're getting is that glass smooth hand polished action. And that's why I'm calling this the Budget Python, because this is a lot closer to the real deal than a Trooper is. And the great news is that when people are looking for revolvers on places like Gunbroker, they're searching for Colt Trooper. So they're getting results for Colt Trooper. Nobody's searching for Colt 357. And while these are quite a bit more scarce than a Trooper, these things are selling for about the same money. This is a $400 to $600 gun tops. And it's a far nicer gun than the Trooper is. So if you can find one of these things, definitely give it some consideration. Because this is the same action as a $2,000 gun, packaged with a slightly different barrel, but at its heart, it's the same gun. The action's just as good, the trigger's just as good, sights are exactly the same, and it should definitely be worth your consideration. This is one of those Colt revolvers where you can go take it to the range and not worry about shooting a few hundred rounds through it, because you're not going to decrease the value. At least right now, this is not a collector's item. So if you're in the market for a Python and you just want the shooting experience, you don't need all the exclusivity, you don't need the gorgeous looks or anything, you're just in it for the shooting experience, you're in it for the action smoothness, this is one to look at. Colt model 357. Thanks for watching.